So moving on to page 13. Now, part 2, listening test part 2, question and response. If you look at section 1, language building, focus on the meaning in WH questions. You know that there are two types of question. There's the WH question and the yes-no question. Right? So we're starting with WH questions. We've got here in exercise 1 3 questions and 6 responses, 6 answers. 2 answers for each question. So question 1, what are you doing on Sunday? What are you doing on Sunday? What are the 2 possible answers from A, B, C, D, E, F? So, what can we use to answer the question, what are you doing on Sunday? A, B, C, D, E, or F? B. B. Right. I always go to my brother's house. Every week on Sunday I go to my brother's house. Another answer, a second answer for question 1, E. Now, what are you doing on Sunday? We're thinking next week, future. E says, oh, I didn't, past. So it can't be that. The question is asking future. E answers about the past. So it's F. Right. Actually, I don't have any plans. What are you doing on Sunday? ไม่รู้. I don't have any plans. I don't know. Number 2. Who is going to represent them at the meeting? Now, do you understand represent? It's when one person or a small group goes for a large number of people and then take the message back. Everybody got represent? You understand represent? Check in your dictionary. Okay. So, for question 2, who's going to represent them at the meeting? 2 answers. A, I heard Miller was chosen. This Miller is a name. We know it's a name because it has capital M. And we always put capital letter for names. So, Miller is somebody's name. Miller has been chosen to represent them at the meeting. Miller will go to the meeting. Not everybody, just one person. If I want to talk to all the teachers who have come to this course, there are 30 here, 30 upstairs. If I want everybody together, I can't get everybody in this room. So I will say, oh well, you can represent this group, 2 people represent that group, I talk to 4 people. Then you come back, you tell everybody, the other 2 go back and they tell everybody. So you represent the group because I can't talk to everybody. Right, so who's going to represent them at the meeting? A, I heard Miller was chosen. Miller is going to represent them. Miller will go and talk for them and take the answer back to them. The other answer? D, they haven't decided yet. Right, they haven't chosen a representative. They haven't chosen one person to represent them. And 3, how did you get to the airport? Answer C. Mary gave me a lift. To give somebody a lift means to take somebody in your car. If I leave the office and it's raining and I see somebody leaving the office car park, I can stop them and say, can you give me a lift to Anusawari? Can you take me in your car? Or maybe they see me walking and they stop the car, the window goes down. Can I give you a lift? Can I take you in my car? give somebody a lift means take somebody in your car. So, how did you get to the airport? Mary gave me a lift. Mary took me in her car. And the other answer, how did you get to the airport? Second answer, E. How did you get to the airport? Oh, I didn't. I didn't go to the airport. My trip was put off until next week. So, I didn't go to the airport. How did you go to the airport? I didn't go to the airport. My trip is postponed until next week. Look again at the second question. Who's going to represent them at the meeting? When we see that word who, what is the answer going to be? If the question is who, the answer will be a name, right? It could be a person. So, who is that at reception? Oh, that's Kunsuadi. Who is that at reception? That's my manager. So, it could be a name or a person. My manager, my assistant, my friend, whatever. A person. If the question is why, what will the answer be? A reason. Okay. Usually starting because. Usually starting because or t. Not to, t. T. So, why do you go shopping at Big C? Because the prices are good. Sometimes we give an answer meaning because, but we don't use that word. Why do you go shopping at Big C? Because the prices are good. Why do you go shopping at Big C? The prices are good. Sometimes we just state, we don't use because, but we think because. Sometimes why has an answer to. Why do you go to that restaurant? To have dinner. Why do you go to Dindang at the weekend? To learn English. So, a question why can be answered with because, or the statement without because, or the word to. Another WH question word. And the answer will be a time. Now, that time can be in the morning, in the afternoon. It can be three o'clock, 4:15, 11 o'clock at night. It can be a day. When do you go for your English course? On Saturday. When does the course start? At 9 o'clock. When does it finish? In the afternoon. Right? So the when can ask for a day, time on the clock, morning, afternoon. Can be a date. Or it can be a year. It's March, isn't it? That's right. When is your birthday? March the 10th. When were you born? 1859. Right, another WH question. And the answer will be a place. Where do you live? In Thailand. Where in Thailand? In Bangkok. Where in Bangkok? Near Anusawari. Where near Anusawari? In an apartment. All of these are places. Where is the pen? On the table. That's a place. So, where will give a place. Another WH question. And the answer will be, we can narrow it down a little bit. A thing or an action. What's on the table? A bottle of water. What are you doing this evening? Watching television. So, what can refer to a thing, it can refer to an action. Be careful with questions if you have a question that starts with what and finishes with for, it's the same as why. What do you need that for? Why do you need that? What do you learn English for? Why do you learn English? So what blah, 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 for is the same as why. So when you hear a question, what, wait until you hear the end. Maybe it's not a what question, maybe it's a why question. Okay, we've got who, why, when, where, what. Two more. Which. And if the question is which, what will the answer be? A choice, right, it's a choice. Which hotel is the best? This one, this one, this one, this one? Which subject did you like at school? Which level do you teach at school? Do you teach Prathom or Matayom? So it's a choice. When we ask which, we are asking to explain a choice. And the last one, oh well, whom is again very old-fashioned. It's not really used that much now. It's the object, it's the direct object of who. Who is the subject, whom is the object. Yes, it's beautiful English, it's correct English, but most people in conversation don't use it these days. No, the other one these are called WH questions because WH, 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 and how. Now, if you have a question asking how, what is the answer going to be? It will explain with instructions. How do I switch on the computer? Well, first you press this button, then you press this button, and then you can see the screen. How do I get to Anusawari? You go out of the building, you go turn right, go straight on, turn left. So how asks for instructions. Those are the WH questions. As soon as we see that first word, we know what we are listening for in the answer. But be careful with what for. That's the only tricky one. And yes-no questions will start with something like, are you going to work on Monday? Yes. No. Do you like your job? Yes. No. Have you got a pen? Yes. No. Can you help me? Yes. No. All of these will introduce a yes-no question. Now, we looked at WH questions. Now we're looking at the yes-no questions. If you have a WH question, you cannot answer yes or no. Impossible. Who's that at reception? Oh, yes. What are you doing? No. You can't use yes, no with WH questions. So, if you hear a WH question and then you hear yes, forget it. It's impossible. Don't even try to understand it. It's wrong. Now that makes the test side of it a little bit easier, because you hear the WH question, you hear yes or no. Ah, I know it's not that one. I know it's not that one. It must be this one. Okay? So, there are a few more, but these are the most common of the yes-no question introductions. Look now at section 2 on page 13. We're going to focus on key words. When we're speaking English, as I said this morning, there are some words, there are some words that are not important for communication. They're only grammar. They're weak sounds of next to the. You only need to listen for the key words, the important words. Now, we've got some words here in this beige panel here. Do you know beige? The colour beige. Beige. Here we've got red, white, green and beige. This colour is beige. So, look in this beige panel here. There are some words there. I'm going to ask 3 questions. Which of the key words here are in question 1? Which of the key words here are in question 2? And which ones in question 3? For question 1, the question is, how do you come to class? How do you come to class? What are the key words, the important words in that question? Those are the important words. How do you come to class? Dear, to, are not important. The key words, how come class? If you listen for the key words, you will understand the question. The other words, grammar, not important for communication. They are important to English, yes, but they're not important to communication. Question 2. What did you get for your last birthday? What did you get for your last birthday? What get last birthday? It's enough to communicate the question. What did you get for your, that's grammar. It's not important for communication. These are the key words.